How you guys feeling? Can you hear all there?
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, okay.
Turn the. It's not there. Okay.
What's that?
Is that coming through the speakers?
Is that coming through the speakers?
Yeah, I think so.
Vocals are.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one. Actually, that's why. That is. Just coming through now?
Hi, people on the internet. We're doing a little more sound checking, and we'll be starting soon. Thanks for being here. And guys, just a reminder, like after each song, let's just take a moment and survey the street and see how things are looking, how people are feeling, and making sure we've got this kind of spacing out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I think we'll be
Can
good.
you remind, never mind, I have that link you sent me with all of the nonprofits.
Yeah,
Link you
I would,
sent
and I would say, don't worry about reading too many things. I think it's just a good opportunity to remind people that we need to be thoughtful, and we need to be cautious, and we also need to figure out what are the creative ways we can connect via webstream or whatever else in these days, or keeping our distance and being thoughtful.
Are you
But we
going to want
got.
to share anything at any point after we do?
I can jump in midway through, maybe.
If you want to, just let us know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, or I can do a little welcome intro when you guys are ready to roll.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just pulling up that link you sent me.
At this point, I'm not going to check our Uber.
Great.
Green line. That one's
Hey, Ever.
four, so with the DQ on four, you can do it.
12 miles
All
right on
the
time.
things.
Great. How's
What's going on? We're just working out a little bit of sound checking, and we are web streaming. There's some people tuning in from kind of all over the place, and then as you can hear, we're expecting to stick you right about where you are. And these little shot circles give us an 8 feet distance. There you go.
Oh, I just noticed them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I started just a minute ago. I wanted people to be able to jump on. So yeah, we are on the internet. Hello everybody.
I forgot what the journey wanted to say anything.
I mean, I can just say a quick intro of like, thank you people on the internet for being here. Thank you people in real life for being here. Hi Alita. Please keep your nice distance. Thank you to Autumn and everyone who helped sidewalk chalk our little markers. We, for those of you who can't see what's out here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got maybe 15 people scattered real far apart from each other, just so you know. We'll just make sure that we have some good appropriate distancing happening here. Staying well far away from each other because we want to be really safe in this day and age. I could say the only thing to fear is fear itself, but actually invisible viral things are very, very things to be afraid of. So deep breaths. Thank you for being, I'm grateful to be able to gather still with neighbors in with a lot of precautions. I wish everyone in the world good health and attention, and we figure out how we can connect in different and modified ways in this season. I'm really grateful for Joy and Peace here, who are here to share the music. They'll tell you a little bit more about what they're up to, but be safe, y'all. Thank you for being here.
You, know, big and small, you don't need anything. You take anything. Where you walk, you hold your head high. You don't have to try, because you got everything. When you talk, they see your light. Everything is happening right, but you don't do what you say. I just need love, mercy, oh, help me with your love. I just need love, mercy, oh, help me with your love. Everybody's looking at you, and you feel so alive. What does it take to do it right? Even when there's no sky, to do what you say, you act just me. Just technical difficulties. Oh, there's no need to wait around wondering what you're gonna do. Nobody's looking at you. There's no waiting for the right time to move. And every day when you wake, you give all that it takes of you. For all that it breaks in you. There's no wrong time to move. Oh, there's no need to wait around. What Well, hey world, how are we doing? How are you, West Philly? Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's so great to be here. We're having some technical difficulties. It sounds like the sound is just popping in and out, so we'll take a second to figure that out. But we're so grateful that you guys are here. It's interesting kind of doing a show where we're social, what's the word again? I'm sorry, I should know this.
Speaking of social
Social
distancing,
distancing
wants to make sure.
in public, but because of that, we wanted to make a few announcements related to that. So I'm going to welcome JJ, whose house we're sitting in front of, to really just kind of talk about that and stress that.
I'm not even going to come to your microphone because we shouldn't. So I'm going to just project. These are all the things we're thinking about, right? We were talking about having a merchandise table, and I'll just chatter a little bit while you figure out what's going on with the thing. But I'd love for you to be able to have some of Joy's CDs, but if we're all handling cash back and forth, that's another way for this thing to spread. You should assume that I have this virus, or you should assume that maybe you have this virus, and we don't want to pass it on to someone else who might be immunocompromised or more vulnerable. So you'll notice right now we're all at pretty far distances from each other. I'm going to invite you all to take on a new role. You're not audience. You are all hereby deputized. You guys are the advanced crowd control. If anyone else walks up as they hear things, we will greet them warmly. We will invite them to find a space at least this far away from each other. And if at any point you see someone not respecting that, I'm going to invite you to raise your hand, holler, tell me, we'll stop the music immediately, and we will also shut the whole thing down if people are not cool with that, okay? Because we're not here for music. We're number one here for a structured, disciplined building community while being responsible and cautious in an important time, okay? So everyone here, you know your role there, all right? We're going to keep our distances, and if anybody else rolls up, we're going to make sure they do as well. And we'll leave some walking space, and we'll do the thing. Hello. Well, thanks for being here. So we've got a little bit more microphone adventures to figure out. We're going to see who's following us on the web stream. We've got at least 20 extra people out there in the world joining us. So hello, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here on this day. Bye, Alice. Thank you. The next things I'll ask you guys to be mindful of are the people who are being affected by this in a lot of different ways. I think we know this. I've already seen 2 housemates lose work. I think people in the service sector, in the performing arts sector, a lot of people who are day-to-day paycheck or in crowd services are obviously being affected most immediately, as well as people whose family members are elders or immune compromised and most vulnerable. So I think a thing to be mindful of now is how do we figure out how we support the people who need it, right? And that's financially, that's logistically. People who have time on their hands can do some remote completely overextended trying to serve the most vulnerable. There's a lot, we're going to need to find some ways to be creative while we're figuring out the PA. I've heard of a bunch of funds. The Inquirer has a nice compilation of a couple different resources of ways to help each other out and ways to look out for each other. But maybe if anyone here has a resource they'd want to share or volunteer opportunity they want to put out in the world, does anyone have anything they want to tell me about? What do we know about? Yes.
On Facebook, there's a West Philly Office Support Group, which is offering a lot of resources like, 2 or 3 resources trying to help each neighbors out. So it's a called West Philly Office Support.
Yeah, so I definitely an invitation to look for the neighbor support groups on Facebook, on other social media platforms. People are sending out some spreadsheets. Figure out what services you can offer, who needs help, and where to ask for it. It's out there for you. You guys want to check anything? Are we good?
I think
We're good? Okay.
We have, and if you happen to have another power cord, we think that might be the problem.
That power cord. Ooh.
If you don't.
I don't know that I have another one of those.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah. Sorry. All right. All right. So thank you again for being here. We'll let Joy and Peace take it from here, and we'll see if the sound cuts in and out again. Yeah. Maybe if we lower that thing to the concrete, it might be more stable and not have any jiggle.
Maybe I was worried about jiggle, but then I realized none of us are hitting it. So
right.
Yeah, we can try that.
Let's see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. First time webcasting, DIY, jerry rigged. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
We got all the wiggles and the jiggles and the PSAs and the wrong notes out of the way. You guys, we are ready. What are we gonna play? Let's start with this one. This one's called Hold On, and I think it's very appropriate for this time. It goes like this. the dark, like a good skin underneath the scar. It's not what you want, but your hope is coming. Like an oak tree underneath the ground, a small seed waiting to come out. It's not what you want, but your hope is coming. Life takes all you got, but your hope is coming. You will find yourself among man's favor. You are not your fear. Oh, yeah. You put up walls and someone pulls them down. You think for help, but they kick you to the ground. It's not what you want, but your hope is coming. Oh, life takes all you got, but your hope is coming. Oh, it's not what you want, but your hope is coming. Bigger than your box, breaking off the locks, unassuming fire, burning up the lies. Bigger than your box, breaking off the locks, unassuming fire, burning up the lies. Bigger than your box, breaking off the locks, breaking off the locks, unassuming fire, burning, burning, This is not what you wanted. This is not what we asked for. We didn't need any of this. We never saw this coming. Oh, it's not what you asked for. Oh, it's not what you wanted. And you wanna give up. Yeah, you wanna give up. Oh, you wanna give up. But hold on.
Yeah. I think it's the microphone because the keyboards were consistent.
It's still coming through?
The keys were still coming through, but the mic was cutting in and out. So I think it's something in the mic cable.
Okay, so this is interesting. Well, I thought mine was cutting out too, but I guess no. Either that or the cord or something. We're gonna do some trading around and see if that helps. I'm just gonna switch my cord over to you. Keep the same.
While we switch keyboards, I want to tell you guys a story about the best dance party I just had last week, where 25 of us across the globe danced for 10 minutes in our bedrooms. This is Andelin's birthday. Happy birthday, Andelin. Yeah, that was kind of the best use of teleconferencing software I've ever seen in my life. And I think, again, I'm impressed by people being creative to find ways to connect in challenging to see all of you here being your beautiful selves from many, many feet away. Yeah, let's take a quick pan around. Everyone on these real far apart from each other. Ain't that lovely? Real far apart from each other, but close in our hearts. That's the goal. Anyway. Oh, someone asked me about your Venmo handle.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Is there a way we can support you, like by buying merch at joyike.com or
Yeah,
by
for
sending you
sure.
money at what's your
You can find me. My Venmo is Joy Ike. My name is Joyike.
Joyike?
I have it written there.
Uh-huh.
Venmo is Joy Ike. Catch up is Joy Ike. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice, guys.
Absolutely. We got to support our artists who just had all their gigs canceled like at
Yeah,
the
it's been
same
a
time.
crazy week. Just thinking about all of that. But it's funny because it's like, I feel like we've all probably kind of gone through different like revolutions at this point, where it's first you start freaking out about yourself and then you realize that there are a lot of people and you're all kind of in it together. That's kind of been a phrase over the all of the above and all of the below. And so this song is called Go. It seems like our mind's a little more consistent now, so let's hope for the best.
Lift your head high. Let out your sigh.
Get up and go.
Go out and get it. Go out and get
Lift.
Lift your head high. And don't ever let it low. Don't let it go. Let out a sigh. Then get up and go. Go out and get it. Go out and get it. Go out and get it.
Thank you. I think
Officially unplugged all the instruments. We're gonna see if we pull.
I got all the time in the world to talk to you. I got I'm gonna talk to you. And even if we're not in the same place, I'm gonna talk to you. I can't do my life in the same way. I'm gonna talk to you. I got all the time in the world to talk to you. I got all the time in the world to talk to you. All right, you guys got it? I just wrote this song 2 days ago.
And I don't know it, but
And she
we're gonna
doesn't know
make
it. Which is why I intro it, because when I intro it, then I feel more nervous playing it. But now that we've unplugged everything except for one microphone, it looks like we've got
Should
sound.
we turn that mic down now?
Yeah, should we check
Or is
it?
it? We want you to hear the words, but is it too loud? A little bit.
Okay.
Only one.
Our sound is working. Yeah. All right. You got it? So let me just hear you guys say, talk to you. Talk to you. Talk to you. Talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you. I can't do my life in the same way. I'm gonna talk to you. I got all the time in the world to talk to you. I got all the time in the world to talk with you. Now we're gonna change it up and we're gonna sing "Hang with You." Let me hear you guys say, "Hang with you." Hang with you. One more time. Hang with you. Hang with you. I got all the time in the world to hang with you. I got all the time in the world to hang with you. When my Monday feels like a Friday, I'm gonna hang with you. Even if we're not in the same place, I'm gonna hang with you. I can't do my life in the same way. I'm gonna hang with you. I got all the time in the world to hang with you. All right, now we gotta go sing with you. Got it? You feel me? All right. I got all the time in the world to sing with you. Let me hear you say, sing with you. One more time, sing with you. Let me hear you. Sing with you. I got all the time in the world to sing with you. I got all the time in the world to sing with you. Well, my Monday feels like a Saturday. I'm gonna sing with you. And even if we're not in the same place, I'm gonna sing with you. I can't do my life in the same way. I'm gonna sing with you. I got all the time in the world to sing with you. I got all the time in the world to sing with you. Two more times. I got all the time in the world. Sing with you, I got all the time in the world to sing with you. That was a world debut. Thank you. Thanks for singing, you guys. This is fun. I got another sing along for you.
And again, we're gonna take our breaks to make sure everyone is socially distanced and looks good. Okay.
Yeah, if you're just arriving, welcome, welcome, welcome. There are little markers in the sidewalk and little markers in the street.
There are minimum distances. You can spread out further.
That give minimum distances of where you can stand so that you are within 8 feet, is that 10 feet between people?
6 or 8.
Better.
And,
Somewhere around there.
I really hope you all have been having a good week. I feel like we made it through week 1, which in some ways it kind of feels like a new ground zero moment. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it makes sense.
yeah. And the new normals are beginning.
Thanks from our neighbors. Thank you.
But I think that even when things resume and go back to how they were, they'll never be the same. And maybe for the better. And in some ways, the weird part of having to spend most of our time connecting with people online instead of in person, it kind of somehow reminds you about the importance of connecting with people in person. Thanks for bearing with us and all of our technical whatever.
Yeah, well, we've got all these microphone problems right now. I'd invite you later to also make sure you go hear the album versions of these at joyike.com. You can find her on Bandcamp. You might be tempted to just listen to her on Spotify, but then she'll only get pennies in the season when all her gigs are canceled. So please buy her record and Venmo her lots of money so that we can support our artists in this season. And yeah, bandcamp.com, look up Joy Ike, Joyike, to be able to buy a copy of her record and send her more of your cash than the pennies that Spotify gives her, okay?
Thanks, JJ. Here we go.
My fingers are a little numb, but we'll see how this goes. All right, this is another sing-along, and you're gonna sing. You're gonna sing, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Are you gonna give it a try? Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
All right.
Well, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? All right. Well, it's a neighborly day in this beautiful, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live with you. Let's make the most of this beautiful day since we're together. Might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? So I can't really hear you.
I don't see you moving those lips.
You know, it's really cool to just, see people walking by, standing, listening outside their windows. If you're watching online, I hope it's beautiful in your neighborhood too. You can find me in my neighborhood. 2019 version of this song with a whole bunch of kids. I'm from Pittsburgh. Mr. Rogers is my favorite person. So we just got a whole bunch of kids together in Pittsburgh last fall and made a ode to Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers. Well, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be? I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day since we're together. Might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Change those words. Let's make the most of this beautiful day since we're apart. Might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be? Would you be mine? Could you be? Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Apart together. Thank you. The song is called Ever Stay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4.
Take it all that I am. Take my faults, my pride, and my plans. How I live, there's no room for you. Oh, how you try, but never get through. So tired, no breath in my lungs. See these hands too heavy to lift. I don't have anything left to pursue. Oh, stay by my side every morning, every high, sink or swim. If I die, ever by my side. No. Highest of highs, deepest of depths, beneath the valley of shadows of death. No, I hide that we cannot go. No place for shadow that is in your head. You ever stay by my side every morning. Every high, sink or swim, if I die, ever by my side. Isn't your home? Nowhere I hide that you cannot go. No place, no shadow that is in your home. Still, you will never stay by my side. Every low, every high, every if I die, ever by my side. Never stay by my side. Every low, every high, if I die, ever by my side. Every by my side, side, every by my side. Ever by my side. Never say. Thank you.
Leave this here. It's in the way.
Well, this song is called By the Fire. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. This is fun. We just started movement. I'm gonna give it up to JJ to kind of organize this whole thing. Who has been the house concert king of Philadelphia, in my opinion. That's what I would call him. He's been hosting house concerts for well over 10 years, and we were originally scheduled to do one inside tonight. I think this would have probably been our fourth house concert here over the past 7 years or so. I don't know. And we really love him. I show up even when I'm not playing. I just love being here. I wanted to do a little PSA. We were gonna kind of interject and share a couple different organizations in Philadelphia who are doing wonderful things in response to COVID. So I'm gonna just mention a few right now. Philly COVID-19 Fund. You can just Google these places. Philly COVID-19 Fund and Phil Abundance are currently raising funds. Other places that are have specific relief funds here within West Philly are Green Line Cafe and Ultimo Coffee Virtual Tip Jar. So if you look into any of those, you'll see how you can support their efforts to help in Philadelphia specifically. I'll name a few others. Just call her piece. We're trying to get something started, Bono or Cher, just like a one name personality thing. This song is called By the Fire. It feels like we're up against a really hot flame right now. It's like doing a lot of burning and changing and stuff. So I feel like steal and kill it. Tell you lies and you believe it. Pay no mind to how it tries you. You can't let it. Don't you let it overtake you. Try to shake you. Push and pull and bend and break you. Spirit and man, this is your land. Fight that demon till you're a free man. This is your war. You hide no more. Stand to your feet. Open the door. Courage guide you deep inside you. You can't say it. You must shout it. I wanna be by the fire. By the heat, let it cover me. The cold's gonna come like a liar, trying to make me. I wanna be by the fire, by the heat, let it cover me. Cold's gonna come like a liar, trying to blow through me.
3, 4.
First it hovers, then it covers like a tower, overpower. Push down and shake your ground down. Make you think no one's around down. Take off your wings, still not kill it. Oh, it's not you, then let it, then you let it. Overtake you, what to shake you. Push that, pull that, let down to break you. Spirit in there, this is your land. Fight that demon, till you're a free man. This is your war, you have to war. Step through it and keep hoping. By the heat, let it cover me. By the fire, by the heat, let it cover me. By the fire. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just wanted to take this little moment to make another announcement, just to ensure that we're all kind of keeping our space. I think we're all doing a good job with that. All right, all right. See families together. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. This song's called "Give a Little." My fingers are numb. I feel like I always need to make that disclaimer with the ukulele because I'm not even really a good ukulele player. And then it just goes, my fingers are numb. But it's okay. There are worse things than wrong notes. Like Corona. You can find me at joyike.com, JOYIKE. You can also find me on Instagram, JoyIke Music. Look for JoyIke Music anywhere, you'll find me. Just view for that. You can all the different social medias.
Let's see how this goes.
This song started off as a not so great roommate relationship. And, roommate relationships are hard. All relationships are hard. What am I talking about? All relationships are hard. And, you can be in the same place and not be talking to someone. And start to feel very inhumane because it just feels weird to see people not talk to them, which I think is why this is shaping us so much. And going back to how songs kind of change their meaning over time. It started off like that, and then it ended up being a love song, about being in a room and talking to everyone except for the person that you actually want to be talking to. And then about, 4 years ago, the meaning changed during the 2016 elections when there was just a lot of tension. And the song became about walking down the street and seeing someone who has a different lifestyle than you and maybe looks weird, and deciding that you're going to have a conversation with them because who knows what you don't know about them, and who knows where the friends are. You never know. We could just befriend someone just by striking up a conversation. And once again, this past week, the song has kind of changed definitions for me. I think you'll get it. I wish you were easy, spend some time with me, but you talk to everyone except me. Makes me think you don't love me. I wish I were simple, that I gave in just a little, but I talk to everyone except you. So how can I blame you? How can I blame you? Honestly, I'm a little nervous. I'm not practiced or polished or perfect, but maybe we could trade anxieties. I'll talk to you if you will talk to me. If you would just give a little, won't you? Live a little, won't you? Love a little, won't you love, won't you love, won't you love? So those are the words. Give a little, live a little, love a little. When we get there again, I'd like you to sing along. Why so complicated? Living our lives so isolated. And you look the other way to avoid me. Don't you know that that hurts me? Don't you know that that hurts me? Don't you know that that hurts me? If you would just leave a little, won't you? Leave a little, love, won't you? Love a little, won't you love, won't you love, won't you love? Why so complicated? Living our lives so isolated, and you look the other way to avoid me, and you look the other way to avoid me, and you walk the other way to avoid me. That's okay until it clears up. Don't you know that that hurts me? But not now, I'm not taking it personal. Don't you know that that hurts me? You can walk the other way, it's for our lives. Don't you know that that hurts me? Won't you love, won't you love, won't you love? 6 feet apart, please. Won't you give a little? 8 feet apart. Won't you give a little? Let's go with that. Won't you love? Won't you love, won't you love, won't you love? Love me by staying away. Love, won't you love? You just love, won't you love, won't you love? No, I'm so serious. Won't you love, won't you love, won't you love? Won't you love? Won't you love? Won't you love? Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, just want to reinforce and make sure we say that as many times as possible. Please keep your 8 feet. And
I'm just gonna again say that I had some neighbors that were very anxious and concerned about my instigating this in this season, and I noticed it's real easy at some moments to like, oh, we're caught up in filming the thing or listening to things, and people are walking up. Like, let's, before we're audience, be diligent about stepping back, clearing space, inviting people who are coming by to keep their distance respectfully and warmly, because that's first and foremost here. I want to thank all of you again for coming out here and for keeping an eye on. We're winding down, but yeah, thanks, Audrey.
Yeah.
And thank you again. Yeah, 1 or 2 more. Sounds great.
cool, we're going to do 1 or 2 more songs. A couple of other organizations I want to shout out are the National Domestic Workers Alliance Fund, Project Safe, Philly Restaurant Server Relief Fund, super important and one that's very dear to me, Philly Performing Artists Fund. So if you want to visit the Inquirer, inquirer.com, Philadelphia Inquirer has a list of a whole bunch of different ways you can support different organizations and ones that are Philly specific. Thank you again for listening and for being here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this song.
Go.
All right.
Let's do how she floats.
This one's probably pretty fitting. This is kind of an older one for me. They're all new to you, I think. It's called How She Floats. And I wrote it for a very serious time in my life, in our lives. We lost our oldest brother to cancer about 12 years ago. And this is a song about starting over and starting fresh when you're not quite sure how to.
That's good.
Yeah, and sometimes you kind of want to go against the tide, especially like right now. Everything in us wants to push against this and be like, oh man, this everything should just go back to normal tomorrow. I just wish that would happen. And then we can just pretend that this never happened. But maybe we should float, who knows? Who knows what's on the other side of this? It could be pretty amazing. Maybe people will actually come to my shows. That would be awesome. So look for the silver linings. How she floats. How she floats. Well, it changes every day. And how she loves. Well, she loves stronger every day. And how she prays. Well, she prays harder every day. Sometimes it's hard to believe what she say. Hey, hey. Oh my God. Most times that's as far as I get. And I clear my throat. And I'll start again after one long deep breath. So what went wrong? As we repeat the last week in our heads, and what happens next? As you learn how to leave again, you just know. You just know. You just know. Hey, hey. And when the water gets deep, you just flow. And when the water gets shallow, you just flow. And when the water gets dirty, you just flow. To ice, you just flow. Thank you so much, you guys. This is going to be our last song. Next song is called Say Goodbye. Goodbye. Breathe. Don't look back. Let the dead bury the dead. And the voice and the vision say goodbye. Don't look back. Leave you low. No need for that. And you may want to go back where you come. Well, there's nothing for you, and it's not an option. You can't go back knowing what you know. Well, there's nothing for you, and it's not an option. No, no. Far, far as you can see, deep as you can go, out of your safety, to the unknown, out of your worry, out of your regrets, out of your failures, and the things that haven't happened yet. On to the next page, on to the new phase, into the future, and the places you have never been. This is not just for you, this is not for show. If you never step out, there are places you will never go. You may want to go back there and come. There's for you, and it's not an option. You can't go back knowing what you know. There's nothing for you, and it's not. There's nothing for you, and it's not an option. There's nothing for you, and it's not an option. There's nothing for you, and it's not an option. No, no. Breathe. Take a deep breath. Lift your eyes. Lift your head. Say goodbye. Don't look back. Let the say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for being here. We so appreciate it. JJ, thanks for hosting this. Thanks for coordinating to your neighbors and checking in with everybody. And you got something else to say?
Yeah, I will say thank you all for looking out for each other, for keeping distances. As we disperse, I will invite those of you at the farthest end to step in and take off first. So like Morgan, Austin, company, hi Liana, to part ways and then make way. So we go in waves, so we're not even crossing paths with each other too much. Thank you for being disciplined and thoughtful and looking out for each other. The coming days will require a lot more of that. I know that I feel this little knot of fear, and I think this is a time to like connect with each other, but also to connect with ourselves and really check in with how we're doing and what we need right now. I needed this to see you guys and to hear you. I'm grateful for it. But we also have to really tend to all of our other neighbors' needs. And so please be cautious. Be careful as you go out there in the world with deep breaths, slowing down. I think this is an opportunity to realize how interconnected our lives all are, how precarious they all are, and yeah, how much we just need to slow down, take some deep breaths, and look out for each other. And to support our artists, so again, joyike.com is where you can find Joy's music. Please buy it or her merch. I'm sure she will use a bunch of hand sanitizer before she packages up those CDs and puts them in the mail to you. And then you should let them sit for 3 days before you open them, because that's the world right now. Again, thank you so much. Take a moment to look around and maybe join me in just taking 2 or 3 deep breaths, and we'll start spreading out from the outside, okay? All right. Thank you, friends. Be well. Thank you, everyone on the internet. Bye, guys.
I got all the time in the world to talk to you. Just so that song sticks in your head as you walk away. I got all the time in the world to talk to you. I got all the time in the world to talk to you. I got all the time in the world to talk to you.
Thanks, guys. We did a thing. We did a thing, and I think everyone was like mostly 8 to 20 to 30 feet of